Hello, you hotties, and welcome back to Wild&T with Teddy.
Tara.
And Tawny.
Exciting episode today. It is our mom's birthday.
Woohoo!
Yeah, happy birthday, mama.
Happy birthday, Mom.
As you know, we love a birthday here at Wild&T. We love celebrating it. And honestly, our mom's birthday is probably usually the most low-key birthday celebration.
Yeah.
Yes,
You think so? Yeah.
yes,
She loves
absolutely.
just to not be in charge of anything. And she loves a simple lunch ritual. Really, that's all I can think of about for her birthday, how she likes to celebrate her birthday. Obviously, she wants to be celebrated and things like that. But I think it's really cute how she's like, it's my birthday, so I just want like a peanut butter and honey sandwich and apple juice, essentially, like taking it back to like roots practically.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then I'll bake my own cake, and then maybe I'll get myself a special ice cream treat or something like that.
Wasn't on mom's birthday that like Uncle Mike would call her, or was it Uncle Craig who would call her like first thing in the morning?
Yeah, Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike.
That was really cute.
An early morning call.
Her older brother. That
And
was
I was just going to say, and Jamie would always bring her blossom clippings too, because it's right in March when everything's blooming in California. So Jamie would bring her the blossom clippings.
oh yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, no, it wasn't until like a few years ago I was sitting down with mom and I don't know what prompted it, but I was like, "What would you do on your birthday?" Because we were all at school. Dad had work. Like I never just sat and thought like, "What would you do on your birthday if no one else was there?" And so she said that she would make herself um peanut butter and jelly sandwich with chocolate milk and like vinegar Pringles is what she would eat.
The salt and vinegar.
Yeah, the salt and vinegar Pringles. And I was like, "What?" I never would have guessed that. Or if they had like a little bit extra money, she would go and get like a McDonald's meal with a milkshake. So I was like, that's so precious. Like, that's so cute. And how did I never know this about you? Like, I mean, obviously, because I never asked, but yeah, I loved that.
I know
Yeah.
one time we had gone to Sweet Tomatoes, was a restaurant that she really just loved going to, but I think it closed down a couple years ago or something. But it was one of her restaurants that she would go to with like friends sometimes and meet up there. So I don't know if she did it for her birthday consistently or anything, but I know it was one place that she liked to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she likes birthday celebrations from other people, not on her birthday, like going out to lunch and stuff. But on her actual birthday, she's like, just let me do my thing and leave me alone. Until I'm ready to be celebrated that day.
Yeah, no, mom, she always has like such a hard time with talking about like how old she's turning and like realizing that she's turning a year older, which is so crazy because she looks the same. Like she never ages.
I have a great story about that actually. So when I moved to Virginia, I lived about 45 minutes away from mom's favorite cousin growing up. And so when I first met them, Roxy, mom's cousin, goes, "You look so much like your mom." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." So then at one point her siblings came and visited, some mom's other cousins came and visited, and one of them was like, "Oh, show me pictures of like your mom and your sisters." So I'm showing her pictures of, I think it was our Gatlinburg trip. So it was all of us girls together. And so I'm like scrolling through, I'm showing her these pictures. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are so pretty." And she's like, "Now, can you show me one with your mom in it?" And I was like, that is my mom. And she was like, "What?" And she looks so young.
And you're like, no, she's there. She's in the picture.
That's her. I'm like, "I know, I want her jeans when I grow up." And she goes, "Me too."
Seriously, she literally has the fountain of youth. And I feel like we are getting blessed with it, but we have to like split it among the 4 of us. So I don't know if we'll get it to the extent that she has it. But yeah, everybody always says she looks so young, and especially with having 7 kids and the youngest being you're so distracting.
Sorry, it was just in my eye.
You can't have bangs if you're going to be distracting.
It was in my eye. I had to get it out. I'm sorry.
Is this in honor of mom? Should we all have made fake bangs?
Oh, yes. Our mom had bangs for the longest time, and we all had bangs growing up, 90s kids, and they were like thick bangs, like meaty bangs.
You would always
Mine always hung it to my eyeballs, always.
Mom always curled mine, so they always had a perfect little poof.
That's so cute.
Because that's how she would do hers too. She would curl hers. Yeah.
And mine didn't lay flat; they were curly anyway. But
true that. True that. Yeah. Yep. I had bangs forever and ever until I was 10, 11 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the same time we all were like about that age. We're all like, I'm growing out the bangs.
I think I was in 7th grade when I was like, can't do it anymore. But anyway, Tara, as you were saying, mom looks very young with having 7 kids, and then her youngest ended up on a cliffhanger here. What about the youngest?
Where I was at. Still forgot. Yes, everybody thinks she's so young. For the longest time, I remember people would ask how old she was turning, and she'd be like 29 forever. That was like her age that she would stop at. And honestly, I think it worked. I think she manifested it, and she held on to the 29-year-old look that she's had. And people probably think she's that age. And it helps because she has her youngest kid is, how old is he? 23.
Yeah.
And so it helps be like, oh, yes, this is your mom. She doesn't look like a grandma to him. So that's good for her. Lucky for her. Not many people get that lucky.
Yeah, the boys look older than they are, and the girls look younger than they are. So we like it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If we grew beards, though, we would also look older than we were. So.
So yeah, our mom's birthday. She's a March baby like me. So that's always been a fun, special connection. And I guess that leads into our topic of she's a March baby. I'm her oldest daughter. And there's a thing about gatekeeping that we see over social media a lot. And I'll be honest with you, I gatekeep my mom. Like, not with my siblings. Well, a little bit with my siblings, but mostly to other people who try to be like, your mom's the best. And I'm like, yeah, I know. She's great, isn't she? And they're like, I wish I had her as a mom. And I'm like, no, you can't have her. She has plenty of children to go around. We're not adding any more. No, thank you.
Definitely guilty.
Yeah. I definitely gatekeep my mom. It's like, she's my mom. You can't have her.
I would only do that with Tavin when he was like 2 years old and mom was like babysitting him all the time. And then he would just try to get her attention while I was at home. And I'd be like, go away. So I would taunt. I mean, Tavin would like, and I love Tavin. He's a great kid. He's all grown up now. So crazy. But yeah, I would gatekeep mom with him. I'd be like, she's my mom.
No, it's true, especially with like younger kids, because mom is very mothering, and there are plenty of kids out in the world. And every time there's like a kid, if they're not a baby, if they're anything older than a baby, I'm like, back off my mom, you know? I know she wants to let you know she cares about you, but I don't. I do not.
That is my mom. That is not your mom. That is my mom.
It's silly to feel a rivalry with like a toddler.
Yes. But it's true because mom loves kids. And you're just like, no. You have to be part of it.
but it's
So
really
yeah.
sweet. Yeah, we have parents who are really good at parenting, and they're good at parenting with us, and they're good at parenting with others too. So it's very sweet.
There's a lot of kids at church too that call her like Mama Chris or Grandma Chris or something like that. And apparently everybody now wants mom to be their kid's Mama Chris or Grandma Chris.
Cute.
Started with
That's
Tab, and
cute.
now everybody else wanted it, and we're like, okay, that's enough. We draw the line here.
They're lucky we don't live there because that would be a hard stop to it real fast.
We're not evil, just a little bit.
Nothing is worse than like coming home and mom being like, "Oh, I'm babysitting this kid today," and I'm like, "What? No, this
You're
child,
babysitting
I
me.
came home.
I'm your
I
baby.
need your attention. They don't need your attention. Send them somewhere else."
Well, I mean, we already have to fight over it. Like, if I call mom and she doesn't answer, 9 times out of 10, she's like, "Oh, I'm on the phone with your sibling," and I'm like, "It's my turn."
Yeah,
Tell them to
and
get up right now.
yes, immediately you're like, hang up with them. They don't need you.
Oh my gosh. But like the joy that one feels when you caught them first and someone else calls and you're like, I'm talking to our parents.
You're on the phone with mom and she's like, "Oh, your sister's calling." And I'm like, "Sucks to suck."
Yes,
She has to decline your call. Oh my gosh.
we do love each other very much, though.
But the rivalry is there. The pros and cons of growing up in a large family.
And her way of getting out of it is like, maybe you should call your dad because I need to talk to your sister. And I'm just like, I see what's happening here.
Or I
Next
get
time
told a
I'll
lot.
come in with more drama.
I get told
You
like,
can't
call
pass
your
me off.
sibling. I'm like, call your sister,
Yeah.
call your brother, and I'm like, but I wanted to talk to you. I love them. I probably will, but I wanted to talk to you.
There have been a couple of times when I've had like my sibling just enter me into a three-way call, and I'll be like, I know that you're talking to them, so add me in the call.
Yeah, that's true. That happened. It's good. It should become more normalized, I think, just because there's so many of us.
I guess that's something we could start doing.
Teddy started it for sure.
It was only when I knew that things were being talked about that I was going to talk about too. So that I'm like, since we're all going to talk about the same thing, add me in the call.
Okay, well, now I feel left out. So if you guys are going to do that again, let me know and I'll clear my schedule.
We'll just set up a whole Google Meet.
Just check in and we'll be like, you available? This is happening.
So yeah, happy birthday, Mom. We love you very much. And we will fight over your attention.
And we will continue to gatekeep.
So in other gatekeeping news, we got some real good ones. If you guys don't know what gatekeeping is, so it's pretty much just
look it up.
Figure it out.
Look it up. Find a dictionary.
Gatekeeping is basically when you feel like the only way for someone to explore a certain avenue, you have to be the one to show them that avenue of your of life, right? It could be something completely general that everyone does, but you just feel this ownership, this stewardship over that thing. And so that person, even if they did it without you, there's no way that they could understand doing that thing unless you showed them how to do it, right? So that is how I see gatekeeping. I definitely gatekeep Hawaii like really hard because I over adapted. When I say I adapted, like I adapted hard to culture in Oahu, and I have some what I consider family out there now that I just love, and the experiences that I had when I went to school out there for 4 years, it was just it just really
It was
changed
an
my life.
immersive experience into the
Very,
culture.
yeah. highly immersive because when you first go out there your first semester, everyone just looks at you like some mainlander who's going to be here for a semester and leave because that's a common thing that happens. People go out there, they get island fever, whatever it is, or they have the school doesn't have the major that they want, so they go back to the mainland and finish out school. So it's just like passing through sort of thing. So there's not always like a really good connotation to visitors out there. But for me, because I stayed for the whole duration of my schooling and I made connections and I met people and I really, yeah, integrated my life with their lives. It was just such a beautiful thing. So anytime anyone goes out there to visit and they don't ask me where to go, I get really offended because I'm like, I know all of the places. Why aren't you reaching out to me? It's so silly.
You're like, I have an insider on the best places to go. And if you don't listen to me, then you're just like all the other tourists.
You just didn't go. There's no way you would find these things on your own, which isn't true. In no way am I like the person that you should go to for all the ins and outs, but I believe that I am. So like that's what I gatekeep really hard, and it's hard to like extract myself from feeling offended when someone I know like goes out and visits, and I don't know until after they're out there. And I'm like, just in case you didn't know, I did live there, so like it's just so silly.
Did you love it? Because I used to live there.
You know where you should go? I'll like comment on like their post and be like, "Oh my gosh, I love that place." Like so salty. It's so silly.
Yep. Yep.
So gatekeeping to me is like limiting somebody's like access. It's like not telling somebody about something unless I feel like you are worthy of knowing this. It's like I'm literally closing the gate on this information or this thing or this person or this experience because I'm like, I don't think you're the right person to have access to this thing. With that said, something that apparently I gatekeep is my country dancing locations, which I'm not going to say here because I'm very salty about this and I don't need to. Okay, I'm trying to get these people out of my country bar.
Connie is actively gatekeeping at this moment.
Apparently not well enough, okay, because I had this one that I would go to and I've been going for like months, like I don't know how long, honestly, but I've been going for months and it used to be great. I mean, you know, some dances the dance would get packed just because they're popular, like Footloose, Copperhead Road, things like that. But the ones that are more local to that area or that just aren't played as often or are a little bit more difficult, the dance floor is not typically, you know, shoulder to shoulder pack. So I would go, and just recently I started going and the amount of people tripled, at least tripled. And there's nowhere to sit. There's barely anywhere to even stand. The dance floor is shoulder to shoulder packed. People like to do their fancy little, you know, throw in their little twists or the little extra spins or, you know, fancy moves when they dance, which is fun and it's cute. And I love seeing how people do that. But when it's that packed, there is not room for you to do that because you're stepping on people's toes. Literally, people are stepping on your toes. We're all wearing boots. Okay. So if you get kicked in the shin or something, like that's not on me. We're like bumping into each other, you know, things are because we're just way too close because there's too many people. And discovered the reason that there are so many people is because I guess there are some famous like TikTok line dancers that have been posting this bar on their, you know, on their TikTok pages and I guess promoting it or whatever. And so now everybody and their cousins and their best friends and people they barely know are all going to this bar.
You know, it's actually kind of weird that the area that you're in has famous TikTokers.
I mean, it's close to DC, so big city.
They're like, we already
influencers come from anywhere, Tara. They can come from
they
anywhere.
already took over DC, so they're expanding and they're going to other places.
I guess so. So there's TVs around the inside the bar, and it has just videos of different dances that are done. Typically not even the one that you're doing like at the time. So just different things going on. And when I was there last night, when I was there this past time, one of the videos on the TV screen was somebody riding a horse around the bar. Why? Why are you doing this? Get out of my bar. This is not for horses. Go away. This is for country dancing and country dancing only. And if you're here to chill with your friends, please get out because I want to dance and you are in my way. So I'm really upset about it. And it's already like an hour and 25 minutes away from me. So I already have to travel to get here. And so to get there, not be able to even get on the dance floor is disappointing. And I'm very upset about it. And I have very strong feelings about this right now. And so I should probably stop talking.
What if you just like opened your own?
That's what I'm saying. There's this perfect location that if I had the means, I totally would, but I don't. So my friend and I talked about going to her apartment complex gym because it has this big mirror on one wall and just, getting a few of us together and just doing it there. I don't know if we're doing it or not, but I think it would be fun.
They're gonna like post a rule, no dancing in this
Yeah.
gym.
You can only bring
Like,
one guest.
stop TikTok dancing in this gym.
Yeah, it was the first time since I've been going to that country spot that I've actually had to stand in line to get inside, and it was freezing and I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. So it was
Awful.
not a good night overall.
Tara definitely has other things that she gatekeeps too, besides just like our parents.
Yeah.
It's not part of my personality, but also a little bit. Okay, I definitely gatekeep tortoises because I had a tortoise growing up. And it probably stems from when people are like, oh, you probably just got it because it's a trend or, things like that. And it bothers me because I'm like, I've been doing this since I was literally a kid. So thank you for making assumptions like that, putting me into everybody else's. But each time people are like, oh, that's so cute. You have tortoises. They're so cute. Maybe I should get one. And I'm just like, are you being serious though? Because I don't like this wishy-washy thing. If you're not going to be dead committed to this, I don't want to hear it. Right? Like when people are like, oh, we should totally go to Hawaii and they never do. You're like, don't mess around with these serious topics.
Isn't it joking matter?
Yeah, we don't. This isn't a wistful thinking situation. And it's funny because
you're not worthy to hold the whisk.
Yeah, because our family definitely just adapted to the tortoise. I got her when I was 14, 15?
14, I think.
14. And she lived for 9 years, which was, a short life, but it's okay. And it was like part of our family's like identity in a way. When visitors would come, we'd be like, have you met the tortoise?
Yeah, a lot of great stories about that.
Yeah. And then when Tawny's ex-husband had a rescue tortoise, my parents were like, oh no, this is ours now. You can't keep this. We're not giving this one back. We will always have him.
And we're not going to confirm nor deny whether or not they still have that tortoise, just in case somebody comes looking.
So yeah, it sort of became like part of our family's identity. Definitely part of my identity for a long time. And people are like, oh, you're obsessed with turtles. And I'm like, no, you obviously don't know anything because they're called tortoises. And it's not obsessed with every tortoise in the world. In fact, it's like having your own children or having your own dogs. And you're like, I don't like children or dogs, but I like mine.
Yeah.
My child and my dog.
Yes, because I have a dog and a cat doesn't mean I want to have other people's dogs and cats on me. Thank you. I'm good.
But at the same time, I'm also like, unless you're dead serious about having one and you've always wanted one, like don't act like you want one.
So the super funny thing about that actually is Aaron and I had gone and visited for Christmas. And so Tara had her teeny tiny little baby tortoises when we got there. And then a couple weeks later, Aaron and I are in like the pet aisle of like Walmart or something. And he was like, so I was looking at getting tortoises. And I was like, what?
But I also love a tortois influence too. So it's okay. It's okay if Aaron wants
He's trying to turn our house into a farm.
Well,
he's trying to do that.
Because
I
all
also
of your
tried to
pets
bring home
are
whole baby
kids.
the other day, so I've created a monster.
That's so funny. Speaking of, with like when it comes to pets and stuff, because yeah, no, like we always had all of these pets growing up and really, really enjoyed that. Like loved our pets. But I would never call myself like a pet lover. Like that's not how I would describe myself, but I do like pets. Like I want pets, but I also like not really. So
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not a dog mom. I'm a pet owner. Like I will get bougie. I make my dog her treats. She's very trained. I have bows on her and whatnot, but I'm not a dog mom. I do not like that.
I feel like a lot of that is just because of how we were raised with pets. And like obviously we love our pets, we respect our pets. We're not going to do anything to our pets that is not like out of love, right?
Right.
And we're not going to put them in bad situations or anything like that. But also what we consider a bad situation versus what pet lovers might consider a bad situation are different things. Tara dated this one guy who didn't think that dogs belonged outside or like grew up out, could survive
Thought it
out.
was abusive to have let them be outside.
Does he not know that a lot of people have dogs to like protect like their flock?
He grew up in an apartment complex, so I don't think he ever had a backyard as a child. He's a city kid. You know? Yeah.
What's so funny is because we did grow up with our dogs being outside, and a lot of that is because there were kids inside and not a lot of space, and we had chickens and whatever else, and so there was a reason that we had our dogs outside. But when I got my dog, I was living in an apartment, so she was inside all the time, and she grew up inside. But then when I moved to my house and I had a yard and we fenced it, she spends way more time outside. She really only is inside if it's cold, and at first, I felt so guilty when I would leave her outside all day long. And I'm like, Tawny, stop. Like, she's fine. She loves being outside. She's happy. She runs around. Like, she's not neglected. I go out there, I walk her, I play with her, whatever else. We still give her attention. But I almost feel so bad. But yeah, when she's inside, she just like lays around all day long. If she's outside, she's running. She's way happier. But I just felt so guilty because I'd had her inside for the first 2 years of her life. And it was like so easy for me to adapt. So that was super strange.
I think that's all the ones I'm going to touch today. Two is plenty.
We're not gonna talk about other undisclosed locations that we gatekeep. So
We're still over gatekeeping it at the moment, so there's
Yeah,
no point in bringing it up.
I felt a little uncomfortable just saying that it's close to DC. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. A location, Bonnie, really?
that's a range. That's a
it's
range
close
area.
too, but I didn't tell you which direction.
I
That's
think
funny.
I know where
And honestly, like there aren't that many things that like I think that we gatekeep out of compared to the number of things that we want to share and like enjoy with other people too. I mean, my dad gatekeeps recipes. Like our dad gatekeeps recipes for sure. But so sorry, Dad. But I do share recipes. Like when I make something, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, these are so good." I will absolutely share the recipe. Why? Because I know that no matter what they do, they're never going to taste like how I make them.
It will
So
never.
like,
Yeah.
where's the harm in
it's true. And that's the funny thing is people with the recipes specifically, they're like, it just didn't turn out the same. And we're like, we know. I'm like, did you give me all the ingredients? And we're like, yes.
Yeah.
But we know it just doesn't turn out the same.
But yeah, same thing happens when I like take a recipe from someone too. It doesn't taste like how it did when I made it. So yeah, you just got to adjust. So things like that, I don't have a hard time gatekeeping because I want them to be able to have that experience, and if they want to put in the effort to share in this experience or do something, then beautiful, like good for them. I'm happy because I'm gonna make my own cookies. Specifically.
We were all thinking it. That and the chili. We know that's what you're talking about.
I haven't even bothered trying making some recipes just because I know it's just not going to turn out the same.
Yeah.
Like, there's no point. I'll just save it for when I'm at home and keep it like a visiting home treat.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, Tawny, can you have Dad make chili while?
Well,
Yes, I have
that's
to take
for your
it up.
birthday, Toddy.
Mom and Dad come and visit. Should I have them make chilies?
And should we also make chocolate walnut pie?
I'm gonna have them make chocolate chip cake, chocolate cheesecake, and chili. Some things never change.
Circling back to birthdays. something that mom always did implement was like we got to choose what meal we wanted that night, like a homemade meal. And I don't know if she ever had something specific for her birthday or if it was just dad would make dinner.
I don't remember there ever being
I
anything.
know she liked to make her own cake, really.
Yeah.
Yes.
After I moved out, I discovered that a lot of people think that's sad. But I prefer to make my own cake because then I know it's what I want and what it's,
I mean, I agree. I definitely would never make my own birthday cake. I've never made my own. I've made my own birthday cake and it was my worst birthday ever. So I'm definitely never doing that again.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think what's more sad than making your own birthday cake, because I don't think that's sad, is just not having a birthday cake at all. Like that to me is sad.
Yeah. For my birthday, I'll do a synopsis on all the freebies I get for my birthday all week long. That'll be
that's a good one.
Probably just record it all, but that's my favorite thing.
Because your birthday is coming the end of the month. So exciting.
Anyway, it's not about me. It's about our mom. And, it's really important to know what your parents like for their birthday. You don't force your things on them. You want to know what they like. And also, know your parents' age. Even if you don't say it to anybody, just know their age. Don't be weirdos. And then you'll have a better idea of aging in the first place as well. Turns out that's a big thing. Because I was always confused about our mom's parents versus our dad's parents because their age gap is huge. And so the age of a grandparent was so off for me in my mind. It made no sense.
Mom's birthday or age is really easy for me because she had me when she was 30 years old. So that's like the easiest conversion for me. Not as easy as probably Robbie's because she was 20 when she had him, but still. Yeah. But it's a lot of people don't know their parents' birthdays or their ages, so like it's a good thing to know. It's just a good thing to know about another human that you care about or at least cares about you.
Definitely. Acknowledgement of them for sure. Well, thanks for joining this episode as we celebrate our mama, and everybody have a good day. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Wild&T. This podcast episode was produced and edited by Teddy Chanpoon, Kyron Maciel, and Dallas Hansen. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, and of course, share with your sisters. For more content, you can follow Wild&T on all platforms or our individual socials. See you next week.